SpydaT.E.K. Get that applause going.
How did you get into production? What got you into it? Who made you want to get into it?
Shit, I mean, I've been into music ever since I could remember. You know, watching like Rap City, Yo MTV Raps, listening to the radio. Like I would just record, you know, songs off the radio or record like radio mixes. Watching DJ Premier Step Into the Arena video, watching Cut and shit, that shit got me. And then I wanted to figure out how to do that. And then I was doing, I had 2 boom boxes, and I would mix using 2 boom boxes, like with tapes.
Like cassette tape?
That's fire.
Yeah. I was like in 5th, 6th grade or some shit.
So was DJing first for you?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got into production. Okay, so...
Well, I only got into production just because the place I was living at the time in high school, there wasn't any room for me to set up my turntables. So I ended up getting a MPC 2000 first.
The OG, the big body boy.
Big body joint. Yeah. So I got that, and it was cool, but I don't know how anybody else is, but for me, it takes me I have about 10 minutes to set down like the foundation of an idea. If I don't, it's out. And like working in an MPC, stacking drums,
slow as fuck.
Yeah, chopping samples, it's real tedious, and it takes a long time just to get that idea out. So, you know, one of the homies in high school, he showed me Fruity Loops on his little laptop and shit, and I went and downloaded the thing, and I got rid of the MPC.
The rap.
I have to be able to vibe with it, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's some songs that I should have remixed, or, you know, certain songs that I've gotten approached about, like, yo, we want you to do an official remix for this or that. And I listen to the song, and I'm just, you know, if I can't vibe with it, if I can't feel it, then, you know, I'm not gonna do shit.
Yeah.
Just because I need to be able to relate to it somehow. To me, man, it's just having a love and appreciation of music, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, and I just apply the same thing when it comes to production.
Speaking of production, what's your main DAW?
Fruity Loops right now, but, you know, I've been slowly transitioning to Serato Studio.
You were there when we had the whole discussion.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, no. So I need to know your point of view again.
Which one do I think is easier?
Easier for a person that hasn't started. Carl's
This is for us.
Definitely. It'll definitely be Serato Studio, just because the layout is a lot more simplified than anything. It's like, if you've seen like how you can drop in the sounds and how you can just do this and that, it's a lot easier to pick up than Fruity Loops. Yeah. And that's coming from somebody that's been on Fruity Loops. Dude, I've been on it for 15 years. What got me finally to make beats was Neptune's.
Which record though?
Every fucking thing. Because like by 2000, this was like 2003, 2004, we had things more than Napster. We can go grab every fucking song we needed. My thing was always grabbing instrumentals. I would have a folder of every producer's instrumentals. Fucking DJ Premier, Pete Rock, High Tech, Just Blaze, Timbaland,
Everybody.
Neptune's, everything. All of that shit. And it would categorize. So like getting into all their shit, Neptune shit was always different for me, because their shit didn't sound like anything at the time. So that for me was like, I want to make some shit like that. Linked up with my mentor, which is J.R. Hudson. And somehow I get linked up with him. He become my mentor. He gets me this deal, like a licensing deal, to make music for Viacom. All the shows for like Hell Date, Making a Band for Cribs, My Sweet 16, all them shows. All them shows had my beats in them. And the way it worked was that it was like a boot camp. It wasn't like, oh yeah, you know, just make a couple beats. No, they said, I remember specifically, it was make 130 or make 200, make 150 to 200 beats, and they all have to be a minute, all original. And if they didn't like one beat, take them out, make a new one.
And that was the process of just replacing that 150.
Bro, we had a studio in Burbank, and I would be in the fucking studio from like Monday to like Thursday and shit, making music all fucking day and night, just because I was grinding. That shit don't really come around for people, especially newer type producers and shit like that. So it's like any chance you get, you want to make sure you jump on that. That was the best thing that ever happened to me, just because that helped me become a better producer, because, you know, you couldn't sample nothing. It all had to be all original shit. So, you know, it helped me as far as creating more melodies and bass lines, and like I got my drums good. Turntables.
Decks. Which
I have
ones?
to have turntables, man.
Which
I hate
ones?
spinning on CDJs.
Do you have like a particular set of turntables?
Techniques.
The 1200s, Technique
It's
1200.
1200. Yeah, that's it.
Because there's you know there's a bunch of different ones out there.
You know what? I actually can't hate on the reloops. The reloops are dope. When I used to hang out with Chris Carnes and shit, you know, that motherfucker is an alien. So like he was one of the first DJs I seen that would stay with like the reloop turntables.
Yeah.
So like he would do his thing on the turntables with the cues and all that shit. But then he would do some other shit where he wants to use the cues where he has to be right close to the turntable. And he was doing some bugged out shit that you couldn't do if you were just using the mixer. You know, everybody has their way.
Last thing, you were using a little Pioneer controller. Yeah. You know what's funny? I haven't seen. I think I saw Sean Lazy Eyes use one time.
The SP1, right? The smaller one.
Yeah.
Or this
one.
Yeah.
And it just there's so much stuff you could do on that thing.
Yeah, because everywhere that you saw me DJing, they still had a 62.
Yeah.
And the buttons was broken.
That's it. Yo, people swear by the 62. The 62 is dope, but then those Q buttons just ain't it.
Whoever designed that shit should have got fired. Cause like, you know, you put buttons on something, you really think motherfuckers ain't gonna fucking just be pressing and shit? Come on.
It was optional. It was an optional. It was like we're gonna slowly move into this button thing.
Usually my trick was I would put the track all the way at the end of the track, so it's just clear, so I don't have to mess with the fader or the volume or anything like that.
Right.
And then I would trigger the song. This has this silent cue button. All you do is press this. Doesn't matter where the song is, in the middle of the song, beginning, whatever. Press this, it mutes the song until you press a cue, and then it gives you more notes to play. Because, obviously for the tone play shit, if you have pitch and time.
Yeah.
You can use it for that. Instead of you having to go with the mouse and press internal or whatever you need to, just press it here or press it to, deactivate it or some shit. Everything is super easy here. And then there's these effects. You can activate 3 of them here by the click of a button. And then depending on the effects you have, like if you have like a flanger or echo, you can use this.
It's like a dry and wet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it, man. This shit's so dope. I don't use it so much just because, I've been here at home with my S9, so I haven't really needed to
step out like that.
Depending on the mixer, 9 times
they got a random
10,
Pioneer mixer.
Yeah, that's just coming with me.
Okay, bet.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, all right, is there anything,
Stewart.
something you want to say to people getting in their creative, trying to get back into their creative zone right now, coming out of the pandemic?
Experiment as much as possible. And whether that's when you're creating or when you're listening, always have an open ear when it comes to music, because you never know what the fuck can pop off in your head when you hear something. Like, always be open to experimentation. Never feel like you have to limit yourself creatively or whatever. Like, you'll know what it's like to fail after you do it. Don't tell yourself you're gonna fail before you do it.
Boom. Well, again,
man, I can't
SpydaT.E.K.
thank you enough, bro.
Yeah, man. Thank y'all, man. I appreciate it. This has been a fun conversation.